The idea of multi-site began as a Band-Aid strategy for megachurches who found themselves out of room. It was a new model that has changed how we think and do church in America today. I was one of the early pioneers. 2001 was the first multi-site campus of Willow Creek using video, which was one of the first churches to do that. It was an experiment. It was untested at that point, mostly. But the big question I had in my mind, but will they bring their unchurched friends to a church where we use video to deliver the message? But it turned out to be wildly successful because they had confidence in the quality of the teaching and the quality of the experience. This is not only serving the already convinced. This model can be useful and effective in reaching unchurched people. That was a great discovery. I always like to say it's better to, ideally, to maximize your current facility and location before you launch multi-site campuses. What we recommend to churches is before you multi-site is to multiple services. And then is there another room on your current campus, a chapel or a fellowship hall or a gym where you can have a simultaneous service? Not all churches, though, are full when they go multi-site. General rule of thumb that I've shared with churches is, could you launch at least 10% of your weekend worship attendance, and that be a large enough group to be a viable congregation day one, and it not devastate the sending campus, where they can survive the launching, the birthing. You don't have to be full to multi-site, but you do have to be healthy. 90% of all the multi-site campuses in America today are within 30 minutes of the sending campus. When you launch a multi-site campus, you're not going to the next town, you're already there. And so when we start strategizing about where to launch a campus, where do we have large pockets of people in our database who live at the 15 to 20 minute perimeter of our sending campus? Then once you define where those areas are, what facilities are available? 50% of all multi-site campuses start in a school. It's the lowest risk, lowest cost place to begin having church. It's a great place to start, but it's not a great place to land long term. But increasingly, a growing number of churches, 37% now, are multi-siting through church mergers. Typically with a stuck or struggling church joining with a vibrant, growing church, and a new beginning occurs for that congregation that joins with a growing multi-site church. Every church has to live in the tension of consistency on one end and contextualization on the other. And so that's what each church leadership has to decide what needs to be standardized so we maintain our DNA and our best practices, and what needs to be organic, local. Only about half the multi-site churches across the country use video delivery as their teaching strategy. The pros of doing video is that you can guarantee that consistency of the quality of teaching across all campuses. We're hearing one message from one messenger across all campuses. The downside is that it can be expensive to do this. And some would say we're not developing teachers. What I recommend to churches these days is that it's very healthy to develop a teaching team, but make all campuses video capable. And you can lead out with video, as some churches have, or you can complement or supplement when you need to with video. But every church can figure that out, what's best for them. What church leaders need to understand today, that buildings don't reach people, people reach people. That buildings and facilities are a means to the end, they're not the end game. The Christian faith changed the world in the first 300 years and never owned or built a building. And so when you think about facilities and buildings, what's the most reasonable, practical thing for us to do in terms of a facility that's sustainable and that serves the local community and that allows us to fulfill the mission of our church?